Our story this week is from Bev Potter, who you'll find on medium.com and Substack. And here is How Much is an Ear Worth? It wasn't even a whole ear. We only got the ear because the other attorney in the building didn't want the ear. And my boss never wanted to turn down a case, no matter how many times I say, "You're going to regret this. I'm putting it on the calendar. On this date, Bev said you would regret this." Took the ear because there's only one way this thing could shake out. By the transference of large sums of money from the fully eared to the earless. It may come as a surprise that your homeowner's insurance probably won't cover you if you intentionally bite off somebody's ear, even if you were bitten in return. It should not come as a surprise when you're arrested and subsequently sent to jail for biting off somebody's ear, even if it was in the heat of the moment and he started it. You know, the usual back and forth that occurs between manly men choosing violence over the 1,000 other ways they could have handled the situation. Let me tell you, it gets old. The criminal case was already done, so that row had been hoed, so to speak. But as the perpetrator of great bodily injury, you still face being sued civilly, much like O.J. Simpson. Speaking of which, that's the first time I learned that even after acquittal, you can still be found guilty. I'll be honest with you. I still don't understand the difference between beyond a reasonable doubt and preponderance of the evidence, which is probably bad considering how long I worked at the court. Preponderance of the evidence is a standard of proof that requires the party with the burden of proof to show that it is more likely than not that their version of events is true. This preponderance of evidence definition means that the evidence presented must tip the scales in favor of the party with the burden of proof, showing that it is more probable than not that their claim is true. This standard of proof is commonly used in civil cases where one party is seeking damages or other forms of relief from another party. Beyond a reasonable doubt is a higher standard of proof used in criminal cases. It requires the prosecution to prove its case to such a degree that no reasonable doubt can be left in the minds of the jury or judge. This standard requires a high level of certainty and ensures that the defendant is not found guilty unless the evidence presented is strong and convincing. The goal is to prevent the possibility of an innocent person being convicted of a crime. Legal match. I would make a horrible juror. For one thing, all I would think about is the free lunch and the possibility of donuts in the morning. When we finally got our hands on discovery, i.e. evidence in the criminal case, I immediately started looking for photographs because, hello, this is the best part of my job. "That's not worth 50,000, I bellowed from my office, looking at the victim's mangled auditory orifice. Look at the picture. It's just a piece of ear." "What's that?" my boss asked, pointing at my computer monitor. I leaned in. It looked like a dead mouse that had been kicked down the hallway, or maybe a finger. It was hard to tell. "I think that's the ear." I clicked back to the other photo. "But look at this. I mean, yes, there's a lot of blood, but it's not like the whole ear. It's not like Blue Velvet or Mike Tyson or something." "Okay," I conceded. "It's a little like Mike Tyson." A chunk had been ripped from the ear about midway from lobe to tip, a small half moon of missing cartilage. "I doubt seriously he wears earrings," I said. "I say it's worth 20,000 tops." "And who even bites during a fight?" Like, "You're not a zombie, dude. Dial it back." And they both did it. They were both biting each other. Seems weird. Punch each other in the face like men. Thanks for listening. I'm Kris Keppeler, and I hope you enjoyed listening to these stories as much as I enjoyed narrating them. I'd love for more people to hear these wonderful stories, so please share and tell your friends.